Hello guys, I'll tell you the best vampiric powers that you should be using in the new ladder of Diablo IV. Also, if you're looking for a build to start this season 2, I'll update my builds following the patch note on the 10th October and of course adding the vampiric powers for each build. So let's start this video with the best powers that you should be using for every class or build in the game. First one, Praise a Week, can be very interesting because it will increase the damage to vulnerable enemies and also make them vulnerable under a vampiric curse. Be careful, it can change a bit following the patch because they plan to adjust vulnerability, critical damage and overpower, but otherwise you should keep this one in mind. Then this one will almost be mandatory because you'll have chance to increase attack speed and movement speed for 6 seconds on a lucky hit. You also have some damage reduction for each 2% life that you are meeting, and this one giving you fortification when you kill a target. The cool thing is that it will also grant you critical strike chance. So make sure to closely keep an eye on these 4 vampiric powers. You need to choose the next one in function of your build. For example, the 2 first powers will be interesting if you have some damage over time. The first one, it will reduce the cooldown of your ultimate and also increase ultimate damage if you have enemies nearby with a damage over time. Of course, you don't need to fully build around damage over time if you want to use this power, for example if you have a poison rogue or the burning effect on your sorceress. For the next one, damage over time will be increased, so for this one you need to have a build around damage over time. Then you have additional damage to targets that cannot move, for example if they are frozen, stunned or root, and this one will reduce your cooldown after using 5 basic attacks. You can also use this one around basic attacks, which will grant you additional damage and increase attack speed on your basic attack. Then you have 2 interesting powers if you play overpower builds. First one, you'll deal damage based on your maximum life, and since you need these stats in order to have some good overpower damage, and the second one, if you land an overpower hit with a core skill, you'll have some explosive drops which appears. Also, you'll be sure to do an overpower hit every 20 seconds, and this one is not only linked to the core skill. Then we have Infection, which will poison enemies after 8 stacks. It can work nice if you have some affix linked to poison, for example increased damage to poison enemies or damage reduced from poison enemies, and this one for the Thorn build, which can proc a 300 damage hit and also freeze your enemies. The Undying can be very interesting if you like healing because you will heal 3% of your heals and it will be double if you have less than 50% of your heals each time that you use a skill. The last one, additional and damage reduce when channeling, you'll land a blood pool which will grant you some damage if you channel and grant you damage reduction. You also have 4 powers which are a bit less interesting. The first one, Accursed Touch, you have a chance to cast a vampiric curse and also to increase your damage from cursed souls. The Terror can be a bit tricky, but it will grant you 100% chance on feared enemy, so if you want to build around it. And the Metamorphosis, when you dash, it will transform into a cloud of bats and it will also apply a vampire curse. The last one, it will grant you barrier when you stand still, but it will break the dynamism of your build. Lastly, you also have 3 vampiric powers which are dedicated to summoners. It's not only the Necromancer with skeletons, but also the Druid if you play companions, and the sorcerer with conjuration, Hydra, Ice Blade and Electric Lance. The first one, you'll deal additional damage, then you will gain a damage boost and resource on a lucky hit from your minions, and the last one, the Call Familiar, which will grant you an additional summon to attack your enemies. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that you'll have plenty of fun using these vampiric powers, and as usual, if you have any questions, feel free to post in the comments. I'll be happy to answer you. Bye bye!